One author is doing her part to tackle childhood anxiety by talking about it in her graphic novels. We have author Raina Telgemeier joining us via Skype. I've got a copy of your book here called Guts. Tell us the inspiration behind this book.
I started having panic attacks when I was 9 years old, and I developed a fear of vomit, which is emetophobia, and it really did hold me back for very many years. And I stopped wanting to go to school. I stopped eating food because I was afraid that food was going to make me sick. And so I have been making autobiographical comics for the last dozen years or so. And I decided it was time to really talk about this thing that's so much at my core and is such a big part of my childhood.
Well, Raina, I think what's so fun is that I was flipping through your book before the segment, and I think what's so lovely about it is the illustrations and the graphic aspect, because at that age you don't necessarily have the vocabulary to describe anxiety.
I tried to show what a panic attack feels like, and that's not easy to do. But because I'm using comics, I have pictures, words, sound effects, and lines and colors and scale and things like just a simple page turn. Those are all tools that I have in my toolbox that help me describe what it's like. So I use visual metaphors like falling through a tile floor into a pit and standing on a spider web, and how that's just like a really delicate feeling. And I just showed what my fear scale looks like. And the colors descend from sort of a happy blue all the way to black. And in the last of the 10 panels, I show myself just being swallowed by a tidal wave. For myself as an artist, I writing this book was a way for me to really learn how to talk about it and how to show it to my readers. And I have to say it was a cathartic experience to do so.
Anxiety is normal. We all feel anxiety. Anxiety is normal, and that's part of the solution, is teaching your children, and as a therapist, to teach your kids, hey, it's okay to be scared. That's part of growing up, and getting over it is what makes you stronger and better, right?
So here's what I'm thinking. So there's sort of two schools of thought right now as a parent of elementary school, middle school aged kids. One is that we coddle our kids too much, right? Like we're trying to buffer them from all of the world, and that's not healthy for them. And then the other side is that the world is so competitive and so fast paced that they're all becoming anxious too. So how do you do a good job as a parent in helping them navigate that?
The golden question, and being a dad of 3 kids and a child psychiatrist, I deal with this every day too, and it is incredibly hard. You're right. There's an old saying in child psychiatry, being a good enough parent, right? If you're too overbearing, you're going to create more anxiety and less resilience. If you're neglectful, obviously there's bad things about but being a good enough parent, being loving and supporting and communicative with your kids, that's where you got to start, and that's the foundation, right?
And I work with parents all the time, and this is their biggest heartbreak, is they feel like they're yelling all the time. And no parent in the world wants to yell at their kids. They do it because they're pushed to the brink, because they don't have other strategies that are actually working.
So let's talk about that. What are the strategies as a parent you can utilize to maybe avoid getting to that point?
If parents do these 3 things, it'll go a long way. The first one is, let's prevent some of that behavior on the front end by getting to the root cause of the issue. So much of misbehavior is attention seeking. So if we give that attention on the front end with a tool I call mind, body, and soul time, it's life-saving for parents. It's 10 minutes of one-on-one time and attention where you are totally present in mind, body, and soul with that child. Just 10 minutes a day doing what they want to do. That gives them the attention up front, and so they're less likely to seek attention in negative ways. Second thing is, in the moment when the behavior is going down, instead of responding from the gut, just take a moment and connect. Get down on their level, give them a hug, say, wow, you're having a really hard time. How can I help? And then the third thing is to use no yelling consequences. And that means lay it all out ahead of time. Technology is turned off at 8 p.m. and it's charged in the kitchen. If you follow that rule, great, you can continue enjoying your technology. If not, well, then you're gonna lose your privileges for the next week. Have them repeat back what the rule is and what their understanding of the consequence will be.
And I think to your point, Nita, about like, sometimes you're just like, you're not hearing me, you're not hearing me. Now you're hearing me.
Yeah.
One thing that we know physiologically is that when you raise your voice, you raise your blood pressure. It's really hard not to feel stressed when you yell. Like, stress causes yelling, but yelling causes stress for adults, for kids too. So there's a couple of things that are just hacks. One is for parents, if we can intentionally drop the register of our voice, sometimes that gets their attention. Another thing is to get quieter, is to whisper the thing, and not just with little kids. Middle schoolers also want to know secrets. We lean in and stop what we're doing and pay more attention when somebody gets quieter. So we're like, you know, if you do that again, we're gonna have to go home. If you do that again, we're gonna have to go home. It's much scarier. Like, Nathan and Whisper, way scarier.
Such great advice from both.
You're nodding your head, so you agree.
Yeah.
It's now time to talk parenting. Joining us via Skype is family physician and author of Teach Resilience, Raising Kids Who Can Launch, Dr. Deborah Gilboa. Also joining us via Skype with a question for Dr. G is mother of three, Shanita. Welcome to both of you. Shanita, what's going on?
Well, I have three children, and in today's society, it is so hard not to be super vigilant, helicopter mom, and all that my children say and do and who their friends are. I have questions for Dr. G. How can I remain involved in their lives, but ensuring that I'm still building resilience?
Resilience is the ability to go through something that stresses you, that's difficult in some way, and move through it towards some sort of positive action or to get back to what you wanted to be doing. And building that skill takes lots of small and big opportunities. But one of the things that's really important to think about while you're worried, while you're fearful, understandably for your kids, is to remember that stress can be really helpful. That we use stress to build resilience. All of those opportunities to go through something, feel your feelings, and then figure out how to get back to what you wanted to be doing, how to feel good again, that takes a lot of practice.
Do you want to know a secret that can help kick your child's aggressive behavioral issues? Yeah! This is so simple, so important. Just read to them. A new study found that reading to children doesn't just improve their literacy skills, it can also help them in kicking their aggressive, even sadness. And kids, we know they're restless. Inability to sit still, reading to them can help with that. Researchers determined this by surveying 675 families with kids up to the age of 5 years old. Parents were videotaped reading and playing with their children. Then they got to watch their interactions afterwards. A year and a half later, those children who participated in the study less likely to exhibit behavioral issues like hyperactivity and aggression. What a great thing.